PlayStation Portal versus Backbone versus Remote Play. I spent hours and hours playing these, so that way I can tell you which one's the best way to get your game on when you're at home and you don't have access to your TV. Let's get right into it. What's up guys? So this is for all you guys out there that want to be able to game, but you don't have time because you have a family, you have work. By the time you get home, you don't have time to do anything. So I'm gonna show you guys 3 ways that you can get your game on and you don't have to have a TV, you don't even have to be at home. So let's get it. The PlayStation Portal, if you don't already know, is Sony's accessory for the PS5 that lets you connect remotely. So you can play your PlayStation from anywhere as long as you have a good Wi-Fi connection. Keep in mind, this is not a standalone console. You have to have a PlayStation. It has to be connected to the internet. It has to be either on rest mode or turned on. For $199, the PlayStation Portal is basically a DualSense controller that's attached to an 8-inch LCD screen. This makes it feel like you're really playing on your PS5 because you get the same design, the same layout, and you also get the same type of triggers on this controller. For $99, the Backbone is basically a controller attachment for your phone. This thing extends out and connects to your phone through the charging port. It detects it as a controller. And then from there, you just open up the PlayStation Remote Play app. It'll connect to your PS5 just like the Portal. The Remote Play option, it basically lets you connect to your PS5 through your PC, your phone, your iPad. You just use the PlayStation Remote Play app and it'll connect to your PS5. All right, let's compare all these and figure out which one comes out on top. First thing we're gonna talk about is the screen. The screen on the Portal is super nice. When I first saw Spider-Man and other PS5 games on this 8-inch 1080p LCD screen at 60 frames per second, it looked amazing. The colors really stand out and it's super bright. So everything looks super nice on it. The size of it, I think it's perfect for any type of PS5 games that you want to play. Being able to put the controller right in front of your face with the screen, it makes it super convenient. You'll be able to play a lot more relaxed and pretty much play anywhere, like on your couch or when you're in bed and stuff like that. Like, you can sit on the couch, you can lay on your bed, you can take it outside and not have to worry about bringing any extra accessories with you. This is a huge convenience factor. The only minus, I think, is that it's a little big. So you might want to put it inside of a backpack or a carrying case or something like that. For the Backbone, the screen totally depends on your device. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which has a 6.7-inch screen. And this one's the Gen 2 version of the Backbone, which has these magnetic attachments that you can take off and swap out if you want to use your phone with a case. Using the phone to play these games is probably the biggest difference for me because the screen is a lot smaller compared to the Portal. So playing games on the iPhone 14 Pro Max still feel like the screen was pretty small versus playing on the Portal's 8-inch screen. And you can also see the borders on the left and right side of the screen, so that makes it feel even smaller. So it pretty much depends on your screen size, but I think even with the bigger screen sizes on the Pro Max or the bigger Android phones, for me it feels like the screen is still a little bit too small compared to the Portal. And Remote Play is pretty much the same thing because it just depends on the device that you're using. There's a lot more screen sizes to choose from. You can play on your tablet, your phone, or even on your PC. Out of all these options, I like the Portal the most because it has a super nice big screen and you don't have to worry about carrying like another screen or device with you. Everything's just there and you can just take it with you. It's super bright, it's super clear, it looks super nice. You can play it outside, you won't have any trouble seeing the screen. I think in my experience, I like the Portal the most in this category. All right, next up we're gonna talk about the controller. This to me is one of the best parts of the Portal because you basically have the entire DualSense controller attached to the screen. And it feels pretty much exactly how it would if you were just playing your PS5. You get the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, which I think is one of the best features of the PS5 controller. It's just a lot more immersive when you're playing games like Astro Bot or Call of Duty, and you feel the resistance from the triggers and you get all that feedback from the controller. A lot of PS5 games do a good job of taking advantage of these features. The thing that I don't like about it are the analog sticks. They're a little bit smaller than the ones on the DualSense, and it doesn't feel as precise. For me, I feel like if you're playing a first-person shooter, I feel like it's a little bit harder to aim with these analog sticks versus on the DualSense. Let me know what you guys think if you've already used the Portal. I think it's only something that I experience when I'm playing first-person shooters like Call of Duty. It doesn't make too much of a difference, honestly, on other games. Another thing that's different about the Portal versus the DualSense controller is the middle button. You have to actually touch the screen to get to the middle button touchpad. And just like the DualSense controller, the microphone is built in, so you can talk to your buddies online just through the device, or you can plug in. It has a 3.5mm headphone jack, and you can just use that instead. And then another thing that's super dope is that they put the PlayStation symbols on the back of the controller, just like on the DualSense. So if you take a camera, or if you look really closely, you can see all the triangle, square, X, and circle on the controller. And this is really cool. I like that Sony did that. All right, let's move on to the Backbone controller. So the Backbone controller is smaller and thinner than the DualSense. This makes it more portable and easy for you to carry around. The analog sticks, they're similar to the Xbox controller where they're staggered. So the left stick is higher above the D-pad and the right stick is below the main buttons on the right. It doesn't have any of the haptic feedback or the adaptive triggers like the Portal, and even though it's small, I feel like my hands get cramped up when I'm playing this thing for a long time. So if you have big hands, this thing might be a problem for you because compared to the DualSense, it's thinner and flatter and shorter than the Switch controller, but also twice as thick. The analog sticks, they're pretty much the same as the ones on the Portal. They're thinner than the DualSense, so you get pretty much the same feeling with these analog sticks as you do with the Portal. And when you click on these analog sticks, it feels a little bit more plasticky or clicky than the Portal. The D-pad on the Backbone, it's really nice. I feel like it's really good for fighting games. I was able to pull off fireballs a lot easier on the Backbone with Street Fighter 6 than I was on the Portal. The L and R buttons are thinner than the Portal, so if you're used to the DualSense, it might take a little bit of time to get used to these. One thing that kind of sucks is that the Backbone, it doesn't use any of the motion controls that the DualSense has. So on games like Astrobot, you can't use any of the motion controls that the game requires. So you either have to skip it or you can't use it at all. Parts that you feel the feedback on the controller, you're not gonna get any of that. So you just kind of have to guess where certain things are. In remote play, you just basically use whatever controller you want. So I just connect my DualSense controller using Bluetooth. In this category, I like the Portal and remote play the most because you get to use the actual DualSense controller and it gives you the closest experience to playing the PS5. All right, next we're gonna talk about the audio. The Portal has these two speakers on the top and they're super loud, even at the lowest setting. Even when I have the Portal set to the lowest volume setting, if I'm next to my wife and we're in bed or something, my wife's still gonna give me looks like, hey, you need to get out. It's hard to play this thing if you're in bed next to someone that's trying to fall asleep. It's just better to use headphones, otherwise you're probably gonna be sleeping on the couch. Out of the box, you can't use just any headphones. You have to use the ones with Sony's PlayStation Link built in. This is PlayStation's technology for their headphones that gives you lossless audio, ultra low latency, so there's almost no lag in the sound, and it's easier to switch between devices. So right now you can use either the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds or the Pulse Elite headset. I can't even use my Pulse 3D headset because it doesn't have the PlayStation Link built in. It's just a USB dongle that does the 2.4 gigahertz. If you really don't want to buy a new headset, you can buy a Bluetooth adapter and then use your own headphones, but you're probably going to experience some lag if you go this route. Otherwise, the Portal has a 3.5mm headphone jack on the back, so you can just use old school wired headphones that you might already have. With the Backbone, the sound's just gonna depend on your device. You can just use whatever headphones that you have because it'll just connect through Bluetooth on your phone, or if you have a wired headphone, it has a 3.5mm jack that you can connect it to. So this makes it nice if your phone doesn't have the 3.5mm headphone jack. This thing has it built into the Backbone and you can just connect it through there. I actually like this option better because it gives me the flexibility to use whatever headphones that I have on me, and most of the time I'm just gonna have my AirPods on me wherever I go. And then remote play is just gonna be the same as the Backbone, where it depends on your device. So this depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the best audio quality, you probably wanna go with the Portal because with the PlayStation Link, you get the ultra low latency and then you get the lossless audio. So there's gonna be almost no lag compared to Bluetooth, and you're gonna get the best possible sound. You're also gonna get the 3D audio with it too. But again, that's gonna cost you another $150 to $200 if you don't already have one of these headsets. But if you're looking for convenience, then the Backbone is going to be a better option because you can connect whatever headphones that you want, you know, wired or wireless. I think it's easier for people to just plug in whatever headphones that they have. Like if you have AirPods or something, it's going to be easier to just connect that using Bluetooth, even though you're not going to get as good sound quality, or if there's going to be a little bit of lag, it's just more convenient for a mobile device. And the Portal's volume, like I said, it's super loud. It's super loud even at the lowest settings. It's just easier to use the volume on your phone to bring it down to a setting that's not gonna bother anyone and get you kicked out of your room or something like that. So I like the Backbone on this one. All right, let's talk about the battery life now. Battery life on the Portal is really good considering that it's powering up an 8-inch LCD screen plus all the haptic feedback that you get from the controller. So I get about 4 hours of gameplay on the Portal on max brightness. And it charges using a USB-C on the back of the device, and it takes about 2 hours to charge from 0 to 100. I feel like 4 hours is pretty good time to be able to play this because most of the time I think a lot of people are probably going to be using this at home when they can't access their TV. So 4 hours is probably a good amount of time before you can find a charger again and get it plugged in. The Backbone, it doesn't have a built-in battery, so you don't have to power this thing at all. It just uses the power from your phone, and that's gonna be dependent completely on your phone's battery performance. It has a charging port on the bottom, so you can actually keep playing this thing when your phone's battery's low, you don't have to take it off and wait for your phone to get charged up again before you keep playing. So I can't give you a time frame on this one because it totally depends on your device, but I would say you're gonna get more than 4 hours of gameplay most likely on your phone. 4 hours on the Portal I still think is pretty good considering how people are gonna use it. Next we're gonna talk about portability. Since the Portal has the DualSense built into the screen, it makes it easier to carry around and just have everything all in one device. But the size compared to the backbone is just smaller and thinner, so it's a lot easier to carry with you, even as a separate device with your phone. It's easy to just slip in your pocket and just take with your phone anywhere. The Portal is super lightweight and it's easy to take with you anywhere, but with the screen and device that's this nice, you're gonna wanna put it in a case or a backpack so you don't get it all scratched up. Remote play is going to be dependent on the device that you choose and if you want to use an actual controller or if you want to use the remote play on-screen controller. I don't think I'd ever use the on-screen controller on PS5 games. It's not like you're playing Candy Crush or like Angry Birds or something like that. I would definitely keep a DualSense controller on me if I'm going to use the remote play option if I'm going to take it outside. And then another thing that you probably want to consider if you're going to use the remote play option is you probably want to stand or something for your device, so that way it's just not like laying flat on the surface, because that's going to make it harder for you to look at the screen and play and stuff like that. And that's why I like the Portal and the backbone in this case, because you already have the screen and the controller right there in front of you. You don't really have to carry a lot of things with you like another device and stuff like that. The backbone, you have to carry your phone and the controller, the backbone controller, but you're already probably gonna have your phone, so you're just taking like another item with you. That's another reason why I like the Portal and the backbone, is because since it's all together, you have the controller and the screen right there in front of you. You don't have to worry about having a separate stand or not being able to relax when you're playing, because you don't want to be sitting like super close to your iPad or whatever and your controller's right here. It's a lot more comfortable to play just using the controller and the screen right in front of you. This is why I think remote play is the least convenient for me, because I'd have to take a screen, like another controller, and maybe even a stand with me. So that's 3 things that I'm gonna have to take with me if I wanna play this outside. It's good for if you're gonna play at home, but if you're gonna take it outside, then the Portal and the backbone is gonna be a better option. Remote play is good if you just wanna stay at home and then just put your PlayStation on another device that's not gonna be on your TV. All right, so overall, let's talk about who this is gonna be good for, and let's talk about the pricing. So the Portal costs $199, and you're basically getting a DualSense controller with it and a screen for that price, and the ability to play this thing anywhere that you can connect it. And this is only good for playing PS5 games. You don't get extra apps like YouTube or anything like that. So is it worth the $199? So for me, it's 100% worth it, because I don't have time to play, and when I'm at home, the TV is usually occupied. I want to be able to play my games and not lock myself up in a room for hours and hours while my family's outside in the living room. I like sitting there with my family while I'm playing. Even if they're watching TV, I get to watch the TV with them. If I have the Portal with me, I can glance up and I can talk to them and I can see what they're watching and stuff like that. I can still be there with my family while I'm playing my video games instead of being locked up in the basement or locked up in my bedroom. I don't have a basement. For all you guys that want a game but you don't have any time to play, this might be worth the $199, because this is going to get you back into gaming, and your PS5 is not just going to sit there collecting dust. You paid a lot of money for your PS5, you want to be able to game on it. So I think for you guys, if that's what you want to do, it might be worth it. It might be worth the $199. And the backbone at $99 is basically a controller attachment for your phone. There's a backbone app that you can download that works as a launcher for all the games that you can play using this device. From the PlayStation Remote Play app to the games from the App Store, and then the Xbox Cloud Gaming, Steam Link, and GeForce Now. It also lets you stream directly to Twitch and be able to record your gameplay and share it with your friends. Also, you can connect it as an extra controller for your PC. They also give you 30% off backbone accessories. So if you want another controller, you can get a discount that way. So the subscription itself is $39.99 for the whole year, or you can do a $3.99 a month option. But if you're mainly going to be using it for your PS5, I think $99 is kind of expensive for this type of device. I would wait for it to go on sale or something like that. And the $40 a year for the plan, that's probably only useful if you're going to be using it for the other stuff. The app without the subscription is pretty basic. You might as well just use the remote play app and just launch it that way. So it's good for people that want to play outside of their PS5, like not just PlayStation games, but they have games that they play a lot on their phone or on their Xbox or PC or whatever. And remote play, it just depends on your device. It's convenient because you probably already have a device that you can play it on, and you already have a controller that you can play. So this is going to be a good option for people that don't want to spend extra money to be able to take their stuff outside, or if you just want to try it out and see what it's like to play, you can just connect it to your iPad, your PC, or just play it on your phone and then just use your controller with Bluetooth and then connect it that way. Overall, if I had to choose one, I'd pick the PlayStation Portal because it's like the same experience for me as playing my PS5 with the DualSense controller, and then you get the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, and then it has a super nice screen. It's just easy to take with me everywhere and not have to worry about carrying additional devices. This is a game changer because it lets me get through a lot of games that I haven't been able to play. Even if I don't finish them, I'm making a lot more progress than I was before. And it's easily one of the best electronics or gaming devices that I bought. Now I can actually finish my games, and I don't have to worry about waiting for the TV or anything like that. I don't have to worry about being in my room and just sitting here for hours playing video games while my family's out in the living room watching TV or something. I can just go hang out with them, turn on the Portal, and then it connects to my PS5, and I'm already gaming and I'm hanging out with my family. I can see what they're doing. I can see what's on the TV. Yeah, now I'm actually making progress on these RPG games, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But yeah, this thing, it's been a game changer for me. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. And if this video helped you in any way, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. Watch some of my other videos. That's all I got for you guys, all right? Peace.